Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Lanning here, and I'm so excited to welcome you back to Writer's Workshop. So, boys and girls, I read a poem yesterday, and it made me so hungry. The poet, remember a poet is someone who writes poems, the poet activated my imagination by using words that really activated my five senses. Now, you friends remember your five senses, right? Our sense of sight, our sense of hearing sound, our sense of smell, our sense of taste, and our sense of touch. Well, let me share this poem with you and maybe it'll make you hungry too. I hear the cheese bubbling. I see the buttery crust. I smell something delicious, like warm, delicious bread. I feel the warmth, fresh out of the oven. I taste the delicious flavor of crust, sauce, and cheese. What could it be, my friends? What do you think? That's right. How did you know it was pizza? Did this poem really make you feel like you had a hot slice of pizza sitting in front of you? It did for me too. That's because the poet helped us use our imagination and really truly imagine that a pizza was in front of us. And they did this by using words that activated our five senses. They described how it smelled, what it looked like, what it even sounded like with the cheese bubbling. So boys and girls, today we will learn how to use words and details in our poems and songs that activate our readers' five senses to really help bring their imagination to life. We know that poems and songs are a special type of writing that are designed to activate the reader's imagination and their emotions. One way poets do this is by using words that make the reader truly imagine how something may look, smell, taste, or feel, or sound. When authors use words that activate the reader's five senses, we call it imagery. Say imagery. Now, imagery, that's kind of a big word, and it sounds a bit like the word image, which makes me think of my sight, image, to see an image, to see a photo or something. But imagery really refers to anything activating any of my five senses. My sense of smell, my sense of hearing and sound, my sense of taste, my sense of touch. We can say that the author of the pizza poem used great imagery. It made my mouth water. Did it for you too? That's right, I might have to tell Mr. Lanning we gotta go order a pizza. So, poets are creative with their word choice, and they always write for meaning. The poem simply could have gone like this. I like pizza, it's good. Would you have been impressed with the poet if that's all they wrote? No! Would it really have activated our imagination? Not really. But when the poet chose to use those describing words, how the cheese was bubbling, how they could smell and see the buttery crust, oh my goodness, my mouth was watering because it really activated my imagination. And poets use imagery and words that help the reader experience what they're describing through their imagination. The words the poets use to help activate the imagination to create that experience for their reader. Something else that you may notice that poets use a lot when they're describing sounds is something called onomatopoeia. What a big word, right? Onomatopoeia. Big word. Well, onomatopoeia, it's a big word, but really it just means words that describe a sound and often sound like the sound themselves. For example, maybe you're reading a poem or a story about a kiddo who jumps in the pool and it says, splash, I did a cannonball. Well, that word splash kind of sounds like a splash noise. That's an onomatopoeia. Or maybe you say, I don't know what was going on, but I touched it and it went zap. It sounds like the way the word itself sounds like the sound, or maybe even the way it feels, or whoosh, or boom, or wink, clink, crunch. Those are all onomatopoeias, and those might be words that you use to activate your reader's sense of sound. So boys and girls, let's work together. I'm going to model for you how I create a poem using my five senses. Now, Mrs. Lanning, I was born in Arizona, but I went to college in Nebraska. And now in Nebraska, we root for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So I'm going to pretend like I'm at a football game, a Nebraska Cornhusker football game. And I'm going to use my senses. Many of you probably have never been to a Nebraska Cornhusker game, but I'm going to try to use those describing words so you can really imagine that you're there and activate your imagination. So I would say, I see people all wearing red, holding red balloons. I hear people cheering and shouting, "Go Huskers!" I feel excited to see if we will win today. I smell fresh-cut green grass. I taste a corn dog and a Coke. It's a Nebraska football game. Now, friends, were you able to really imagine that you were sitting in a stadium, smelling that fresh-cut grass, seeing all the fans in their bright red and cheering and being excited to see if we'll win today, and imagining you had a corn dog and a Coke? Yeah, that's right, because we use those describing words and we describe what's going on so our readers can really imagine it in their mind. Remember, as a poet, you can activate your reader's imagination by using imagery. You may be working on a poem that you've already started, or maybe you're ready to write a new one. Today, as you write, use words and details that will activate your reader's 5 senses. See if there's words you can add to activate those senses and get their imagination going. Maybe you use sentence stems like I see, I hear, I feel, I smell, I taste. Those might be some sentence starters to help you add those describing details into your poem to activate your reader's 5 senses. All right, poets, it's your turn. I can't wait to see my mind light up with all of the things and ideas that you are describing. It's your turn. Writers, go write.